Good evening, viewer. Welcome to our Glory Globe TV. Here's the breaking news. Yes, blacks covered the skies and drums thundered as they would on a tiger hunt as the army of the Arakan marched into the jungles. Great ranks of infantry backed by hundreds of battle elephants. Tens of thousands of boats stood by to help the army jump over the dense banks of rivers that separated the mountains from the plains. King Siddhi Marza, the very image of virtue and a power is like the morning sun. Cast a court chronicler was hunting for human free. This weekend, King William Alexander of the Netherlands formally apologized for the role of the Orange Nassau dynasty in enabling the slave trade. The Dutch East India Company slave traders, the king said, had turned individuals into commodities, a kind of operation that is the most harmful, the most humiliating, the most degrading. Earlier this year, a historical investigation commissioned by the Dutch Parliament showed that the royal house had directly earned at least 500 million from the slave trade in modern currency. Like so many painful colonial memories, the story of the Indian Ocean slave trade, which saw Indians being trafficked from Malabar, the Coromandel coast, Bengal, to the Dutch East Company outpost in Batavia, in Indonesia, has been obliterated from our memories. King William Alexander's apology should push India to honor the victims. Even though Emperor Jalaluddin Muhammad Akbar had ordered the Mughal emperor's slaves to be set free in 1582, centuries before the United Kingdom followed suit in 1838, trafficking in human continued. Tens of thousands of enslaved Indians continue to be purchased by the Berengate Netherlands Geotriarate Oost-Indische Company or Dutch East India Company, kidnapped from Bengal and the Coromandel coast by pirates, mercenaries and the Tangunu rulers of Arakan. The historian Marcus Bink has shown the Indian Ocean slave trade relied on three interlocking circles of trafficking: an African circuit running from the East African coast to Madagascar and Mauritius, a middle circuit running from Malabar to the Coromandel and Bengal, and a Southeast Asian circuit drawing on Malaysia, Indonesia, Iran, Jaya and the southern Philippines. From the work of historian Israt Amin, among the few chroniclers of the Indian Ocean slave trade, we gain a sense of the savagery it involved. After the Arakan king's successful raid on Bengals in 1624, the Dutch East India Company had dispatched the frigates Jaeger and Moos along with the Yachit Madan Biliku to purchase at least 1 lakh or 10,000 captives who are raptured to have been taken. The bulk of the slaves, though, had died in an epidemic during their forced march, and just 93 were available for sale. In 1643, Dutch East India Company chief merchant Arend van der Halm obtained a license from the Arakan king, allowing freedom to purchase gum, indigo, white cotton cloth, rice and human beings. That year, the company brought 600 slaves, out of which 135 died of smallpox on their way to Batavia. The same year, Dutch East India Company ships trawled the Cochin Coast looking for slaves captured in the war in Bijapur following devastating wars and famine in Nagapattinam in 1660. The crews of the Walvis Bay and Ulysses were able to find hundreds of enslaved people for sale. Later in the century, rates were fixed. Men aged 20 to 36 sold for 12 and quarter reals, women for 12 to 25 for 8 reals, boys from 8 to 9 years 7 and quarter reals, girls from 7 to 12 for 6 reals, and smaller children for 3 quarter reals. Even younger children were accepted but without payment because of the high mortality rates. The price of an adult male slave was about a third of that of a ton of rice. The Indian slaves were used for cultivating maize on the island of Ai, though it lacked drinking water. In Banda, they were used to prepare fallow lands for cultivation, and in Batavia, they dug canals and drainage. Each slave governor general regent smugly observed could do twice the work of a Dutch worker in the heat at no cost. VN Dasiford, Glory Globe TV, Delhi, India.